I was feeling in my own personal game that I was a regular now. I was comfortable with where I was at. I was confident in my abilities to play in the league, and I think my game had evolved where now I wasn't going to be offensive, but I was smart enough to know to be reliable night in and night out defensively. I had enough skill where I could move the puck out of my zone and make a first pass. So that's kind of what my that's how I evolved as a player,
Right.
and that's what I became from that point on. But it was after with other organizations that I became more of a regular. But I think I was with the Islanders for 6 years before that happened.
Hey there, Jason Panolan back with Up My Hockey. And that clip with Jeff Finley. So Jeff Finley, 700 game NHLer, was a third rounder originally to the New York Islanders, point per game player in the Western Hockey League. They thought he was going to be somebody that would lead their power play. Didn't turn out that way. 6, 7 years later, Jeff realized that how he was going to establish himself and how he was going to play consistently at the NHL level was to be super reliable in his own end, keep the puck out of his net, and get the puck out of his zone. Put it on somebody's tape, worry about his exits, and defend really, really reliably. And that's how he ended up playing 700 more games in the NHL from the age of 29 on. I love that story because it took 6 years, 7 years of pro hockey for Jeff to find his way to be an NHLer. I mean, it's hard enough to be an AHLer, but to secure that spot at the NHL level, teams need different types of players. So the message to you players today, everyone who is so fixated on points, right? Points, 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 production. Even defensemen from the blue line want points. They want to be on the score sheet. I think that's how they're going to get noticed. Scouts like Jeff Finley need to fill pieces of a team. And yes, it is more rare, I will give you that a stay-at-home reliable defenseman will be a top round pick or a top 10 pick. So you may not have the accolades and the shiny lights, but you are needed. Teams need you at all levels, whether it be the AHL level, whether it be a junior level or an NHL level or a collegiate level. Teams need players that understand that there is value in defending well. So if you enjoy defending and if you like that aspect of the game, do it. And do it with passion. And take pride in it. Because people are watching and you will get recognized. And that is a great way, even as an offensive player, to earn the trust of a coach or of an organization that you can be depended on even if you aren't producing. That's the hard part when you're an offensive player, just in general, and that is all you do. Because what happens when you don't? And we all know how it gets harder. Every time you level up, it gets harder and harder and harder to be that guy on the team that's supposed to provide the points. So if you are not doing that, how are you impacting a hockey game? How are you helping your team win? So if you can start from the foundation of keeping the puck out of your own net, and the term now you hear all the time is being a 200-foot player, being a 200-foot player has immense value. And if that's your starting point, you can find your way onto any team because you do know your responsibilities. You are reliable in keeping the puck out of your net. You are able to defend and get the puck out of your zone. And if you can start there, then the offense can come from that. And some people make entire careers out of doing just that. So it is not something to be looked down upon. It is something that can be looked at with pride and with passion, that this is the piece of the puzzle that you fit. And for Jeff, he was actually lucky because a lot of times it doesn't go that direction. When you're labeled as being something, for 6 years later to be allowed the opportunity to be something else, that always doesn't happen in our work. So great for him, for me to get that done. But what if we learned that lesson a little bit earlier? Or what if Jeff started with that mentality when he came out of the gates at 19, 20 years old, where he worried about keeping the puck out of his net first and then worried about the offensive side of his game? Perhaps he would have been a player that would have manned a power play at the NHL. Anyways, just food for thought. Don't diminish the value that you can bring to a team by being a reliable defender, a competitive, reliable defender. Everyone needs it. Do it with passion.
Just watch me.